That's Billy's house, Hillcrest, and we're in the Billy Liar suburbs, the place that he wants to get away from. What it tells Billy is, to him, it's everything that's dreary about life.
Every morning the same. Hey, you up there, come on, get out of it.
The hopeless dreamer Billy was played by Tom Courtenay.
It was a big day for us. We had won the war in Ambrosia. Democracy was back once more in our beloved country.
Billy himself is really based on a whole gang of us who used to hang around in the milk bars and make plans and dreams of coming to London.
I've been offered a job in London.
There's been a lot of twins born lately.
I said I have been offered a job in London.
What bloody job?
How do you mean you've been offered a job?
A job script writing.
Script writing? He can't write his own bloody name so that anybody can read it.
I'm going up to London to see script writing. Bloody script writing. That was the father, and I knew so well, you know, from my own father. You. I used to get a lot. You. Act the bloody go. That's all acting you do. And it just was, gosh. I mean, I just knew what it was about.
Good morning, Billy.
Oh, good morning. If I can get to the end of the street without opening my eyes, everything will be all right.
We're in Bradford. This is where the undertaker's shop was located, where Billy worked.
Extraordinary time to come to work, Fisher. I'm sorry, Mr. Shadrach, only I spilt all that water down my arm. I've been to the doctor's.
Must be going home time. Fisher's here.
I worked for an undertaker. I selected the job because I found that I had the use of a typewriter where I used to write short stories at lunchtime.
You're still out an undertaker during the day, aren't you?
Oh, yes,
that's the
yes,
day
that's
job.
that's
the day job.
Still the day job, yes.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, the workers nowadays, you see, you give them twopence halfpenny a week, they're not contented.
You see, they don't know
they're
the
not
ball.
contented. They don't know when they're well off.
They couldn't come it with me.
No.
There's always been an all right, it's all right, Mill. And by hell, there always will be.
The film represents a tussle between what is traditional in his life, and into his life comes the character played by Julie Christie.
Julie Christie was spotted at the Central School of Speech and Drama by Joseph Yanni in a production of The Diary of Anne Frank. He immediately wanted to put her under contract.
So I went to Julie, I said, look, Julie, this is my address. Come to my office, and I will give you a contract. And for things she said to say, shit, everybody said that.
That's the way a lot of young women were, certainly the way that myself and my friends were. And it was just a question that we were allowed to be as we were, as on film. I mean, a lot of people would walk along swinging a handbag and running their hands along the rails. That's not such an unusual thing to do. But previous to that, perhaps you would be introduced... and you think what I was wearing, I mean, was just a real tacky old coat. And I think it was fake suede coat. And there wasn't anything remotely smart about anything that I had on or how I was made up or anything. And that was the change, that how we were was how we were allowed to be presented, because previously you wouldn't have been allowed to be presented like that. If you think of the you know, the joke that in the 50s or the previous to that, women could go through hell and high water and they'd still have their hair absolutely immaculate. And that was what was presented, how women were presented beforehand. So I think it was, I didn't feel, oh, look, I'm being a new girl. or a new woman or anything like that. I just was grateful that I didn't have to go through this ridiculous charade.
Well, she brought sex to the character.
Well, indeed, yes. I mean, it was very unusual for any girl to admit that she was a sort of sexy person. I mean, they pretended otherwise. They pretended that they weren't, and that they were all doing it for you. I mean, any girl who admitted that she was also doing it for herself was a very unusual, forward-looking sort of Ibsen character.
And a good one to find.
Yes.
Oh, Billy, look.
But Billy's current fiancée is a girl in a far more conventional northern mold.
Isn't it sweet?
Fabulous.
True to his calling as an undertaker, Billy does his courting in a cemetery, where his overtures have to observe the niceties of romantic etiquette.
Do you think it's wrong for people to have, feelings?
Not if they genuinely love each other.
Like we do?
Yes.
Would you think it wrong of me to have feelings?
People knew what they were doing, even if they weren't allowed to do it. I mean, young men always went around with a packet of 3 in their top pocket. I mean, they remained in their top pocket until they
same
perished.
Packet of 3 forever.
Yes.
Well, there was probably more chasing, but less catching, I should think, in those days.
The disconcerting Julie Christie character wants to cut through all the preliminaries.
You know what you wanted me to do that night? When we were walking through the park. And I said another night.
Yes?
Well, it's another night tonight, isn't it?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, what?
Now, she could be quite loose. I mean, she did what she wanted to do, but she was still it was a strength, actually. It was presented as a strength. So I suppose that was a wonderful part, actually. That's one of the best parts I've ever had, because after that, because on the whole, the women did get quite a raw deal in the 60s. Liz was quite unique.
But Billy, why don't you go to London? I'll come with you.
Oh, it'd be marvellous if we could.
But there was no prospect of escape for this Sporting Life's Frank Machin.
How are you, lads? No, John's from in a hurry.
After the blow which knocks his... But in 1963, cinema audiences were clearly beginning to lose interest in working-class realism. Billy Liar came out in the same year as This Sporting Life, and it took care to market itself very differently, with the emphasis on fantasy and the zany optimism which signaled the arrival of the swinging 60s.
But Billy, why don't you go to London? I'll come with you.
At the end of the film, Billy's dreams of escape seem about to become reality when he meets up with his girlfriend on this station. It was supposed to be Bradford, but they shot it here in Marylebone in London. Anyway, it seemed at last that a northern lad might actually make it to the big city. But Billy loses his nerve. And in the end, it's Julie Christie who makes the break and sets off for a new life in London.